Professor Marsden, you and your co-workers are usurping the glory and the credit for an invention that is rightfully mine. For that reason, I am forced to destroy you.
Control unit 2. Put that receiver down. You say Professor Arnold left here quite a while ago?
Yes, indeed.
Then his hat must have flown back in through the window. Mind if I smoke?
Guess what? It is because my mic wasn't on the whole freaking time that I said any of that. Fuck.
Well, I mean, it's like we were saying earlier. We're just doing picture, no audio tonight.
No audio tonight. You're gonna have to
pretend. You have to turn up your volume really high and just pretend, and maybe your brain will fill in the gaps.
Hopefully, you're good at reading lips. And if you're not, this is something to get good at, right? Something to start dipping your toes in the water. See how you do with it. So I'm not going to repeat all the bullshit that you just didn't hear me say, but suffice to say, welcome everybody. We're on our third chapter of Undersea Kingdom this week, the public domain serial we're watching. We're very excited. Fresh is not with us, blah, blah, blah. You go read my lips. Read my lips. No audio. No, we've got it. We're doing audio. We changed our minds at the last minute. No, I feel like I would say we're already in the summer right now because that's where my brain is basically at. I've got summer brain.
Basically.
When is
next week? Next week's technically when the summer starts.
It's next. See, I didn't know what it was, so it's next week.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Solstice.
The soul. Oh, okay.
1 week out. We got 1 week of spring left.
1 week of spring left, so make sure next week during the solstice you celebrate with some good old-fashioned folk horror. Because that's usually what those folk horror cults are all about, using the solstice and the changing of the seasons and all that good stuff. Wickermans and your Midsummers and all that good stuff. All those fun movies. No, I'm definitely dealing with a heavy case of summer brain. So it's, what are you gonna do?
You got the summer madness?
Pretty much. It's either summer madness or chlorine poisoning. I don't know. It's one or the other. It's really could be other. It's too hard to tell. No, I mean, and on Friday,
man who takes his work home with him.
I certainly do. And I mean, yeah, next Friday will be a real challenge because I'll be I'll be swimming in a swim meet myself and
Oh,
then coming to do the show. So I did that last year. I can't remember what
yeah, you did.
movie it was for, but it was fun. I had fun. I think I had a lot of energy in that episode if I remember correctly, because I was like, I don't even know how I'm still going right now. But
You were all jazzed up from beating those kids in the race.
yeah, from all those 9 and 6-year-olds that I swam against. No. No, don't worry. I swam against other old people, and I got my butt handed to me. No, I got my butt handed to me when I after my second swim, and I was just wiped. I was like, I I'm too old to do this like I used to.
See, you jumped in the pool and then immediately turned on the afterburner.
Yeah, I immediately became the old grizzled cop who said, "I'm getting too old for this shit," and just my body just gave up on itself. But it was fun. Nothing better than being exhausted and then coming and talking for 2.5 hours. No, I do it because I love it. And that's why I'm here tonight. I'm braving through my case of summer madness, summer brain, whatever you want to call it, because we have 12 chapters of Undersea Kingdom that we have to watch. So we can't miss a beat over here. We gotta keep.
I gotta know what happens.
We gotta know what happens. Last week,
is Ray gonna be okay?
you know, I think actually we've just seen Crash so far. They're going to kill Crash with last week's cliffhanger, and then they're going to introduce Ray. And Ray is actually going to be a different character from Crash.
So the character is switching his name to the actor's old name.
Right. It's the same actor. I don't know if it's the same character, right?
Right.
You be the judge of that. Yes, but we will see Ray Crash Corrigan doing all the leaps and bounds. And didn't last week he was like legit like fighting with people? He was like, they were like wrestling around. And if I remember correctly, last week's episode,
I remember there was some tussling. There was some tightrope walking.
That's what he did. He tussled, he tightrope walked, which was the most impressive thing. That was really cool to watch. And then there was a bunch of people riding around on horseback, which was also thrilling. So, all things considered, things really picked up in the second chapter of Undersea Kingdom. So I'm excited to see.
Movement.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, things are finally cooking. Things are mixing in the pot. You've got Unga Khan, I believe is our bad guy's name. Unga Khan. And he's no Ming, obviously. I mean, not everybody can be Ming the Merciless, but he is certainly the tyrant of Atlantis. And I'm pretty sure at the end of the last chapter, Crash Corrigan just infiltrated his palace like that. Like he took
as they do.
He took a page out of Flash Gordon's book and just beat a guy up and put on his clothes and waltzed right into the bad guy's lair. It's just, classic Flash Gordon move. I guess just par for the course with these serials. Good guy just beats somebody up, puts on the villain outfit, and he's in. And that's what they should have done. They should have made one of these like a heist thing, right? Like a 12 chapter. Well, no, like you make a whole serial set around a heist, right? And each episode, right? I don't know. Something about that seems interesting. I'm sure there's a TV show that did it. I'm sure there's a TV show called Heist. I'm sure it was about heists.
It was 12 episodes. There are 12 characters. It's like what they did for Arrested Development.
Right, exactly.
There's even more money being stolen.
Yeah. I mean, it's just all money laundering scheme. That's all it really is. But in its terms of the cliffhanger last week, I can't remember what
Did he drop him
exactly.
in a pit? I remember there being a pit.
That's what it was, because it was like they used like a cool matte painting for like the fall, and it looked very futuristic, like almost something out of Star Wars. I thought it looked really cool. Because we've seen it in Flash Gordon where he fell into a pit, and it was just like you get a quick shot. I mean, and you got that. We got it here too, of like a mannequin falling in the pit, but they also they had a cool effect shot. And I hope they'll show it again in the recap, because of course with these serials, you get a recap at the beginning of each episode. So if you're tuning in and you haven't seen the first 2 chapters, don't worry, because between the recap and the, I don't know what you call it, the title cards at the beginning, it's not the scroll that we know and love from Star Wars and, for our purposes, Phantom Creeps and Flash Gordon. It's just your static inner titles. So it's fine. They tell you who's who and what's up. So but I'm excited. I think this will be a good one. I hope that we get our first bit of Lon Chaney Jr. popping up in here, because he's in this, but we haven't seen him yet, and he plays one of the henchmen for the main bad guy. So he's got to pop up sooner rather than later.
Be around.
He's gonna be
Have
around.
we said the title of the episode yet?
I haven't even read it, Evan. So you do the honors. What is the title of tonight's episode?
Could he be in the Arena of Death?
Arena of Death. That does sound like a very apt title for something Lon Chaney Jr. would feature prominently in. So we will see. I could definitely see him and Crash Corrigan tussling around, like probably actually beating each other up. So that's always fun to watch. I mean, I don't think.
Well, Crash Corrigan, he's in such rippling physique. He's in such good shape that he just can't help but punch hard. He can't punch soft.
No, he can't. He is, every punch he means it. And you can tell by the anguish on the faces from the stunt actors that he's fighting. Stunt actors. I mean, I use that term loosely because, again, we talked about the same people that are playing the henchmen that are getting beat up are probably the same people that are on the horseback, riding around and tumbling off. And so they're stuntmen, but I mean, my God. And they had to do a lot of stuff back in the day. Don't envy that role. But yeah, so we'll see if Lon Chaney Jr. makes an appearance in the Arena of Death. Yeah, good title. So sounds promising.
Yeah, if I was gonna be dropped down a pit, I think being dropped into the Arena of Death that's all right. I could live with that.
Yeah, because at least you haven't died yet, right? If you've made it to the Arena of Death, well, you're not quite dead. So there's a Monty Python bit for you. You see that? See what I did there? But yeah.
They dropped that parrot into an arena.
And it's beautiful bird, lovely plumage. Yes. So we'll see. We'll see the parrot make an appearance as well. Anything before we get into tonight's episode, Evan?
I'm wanting like a gladiator type of fight. I'm hoping that's what we're getting.
When I hear Arena of Death, the first thing I think of is a Coliseum. So I don't know if that's what other people, I mean, but that was just what has popped into my head the few times we've said it. Coliseum. So I think it's a safe bet for some gladiator style showdowns. So we'll see. Evan, if you have it queued up.
I do.
We're going to go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of Arena of Death right now. Those robots, man, I swear. Unga Khan, cruel and crafty ruler of Atlantis.
Cruel and crafty.
He's cruel and crafty. He knows how to make a mean... I can't think of a good craft, damn it. I ruined the joke.
He made a paper mache tank.
There it is. Yep. Professor Norton.
Oh, thoughtlessly. How could you, Professor
You
Norton?
idiot. You fool.
You're supposed to protect us against computer viruses.
Dang it, Diana. Why can't you write a feature story that gets us out of this jam? Billy. God dang it, Billy.
The team mascot.
And Billy, who's just along for the ride. Athletic naval officer. Came to grief.
They're really drilling in how athletic this man is.
You have to.
This is one character trait.
Yeah, you better get him out of there. It's all that asbestos. See, I mean, like, look, I mean, he fights two guys at once. That's what he did last time. That was wild. Diana's smart too. She's getting after it.
You're gonna body slam this guy. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, there you go. Boom. Yeah, that's what it was.
I like it. They kept all the audio of them just scuffling around.
Yeah, it's good. It works. It's better than nothing. Click, 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 click.
The elevator's down.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here come the robots.
Yeah, that's right. Just shoot a couple slugs in it. God dang.
That's always the play. You shoot a few times and then you throw something.
These smart garbage cans aren't worth the tin that they're made out of.
Clear in a moment, Your Majesty.
They're strong against
Never
bullets,
mind.
but they're weak against
Even if we
chairs.
escape the atom gun, this fall down the shaft will have killed him.
They didn't show the fall.
Ugh.
Boo! Boo! Oh, see, there it is. Look at that. I love that painting.
It's pretty good.
It's a
It's
good.
a good perspective.
Yeah.
Didn't we see him fall?
We
this
saw
time
him-
He's just like rappelling down.
Yeah. Yeah. He survived. Wow. Big surprise.
So it always goes.
Saw a detachment of Sheridan's men, but they reached the sacred city.
That's Lon Chaney Jr.
For a second. Oh,
Yep.
there's our man.
I didn't recognize him for a second because his voice sounded a little higher than normal, but it's him. I mean, we already know that Crash can tightrope walk, so not a difficult thing for him to rappel down. Yeah, see, Lon Chaney looks huge, dude. Oh my god.
Well, the boy was recaptured by Sheridan's men, and
Those guys are just really short. But he was 6'4", so I mean, I guess for that day.
Imperial's field.
The body of Crash Corrigan lies at the base of the elevator shaft.
Mm.
Remove it at once.
Yes, sir.
All right, beat up Lon Chaney, Crash. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Uh-oh. Is he going to take on 5 guards?
Of course he is.
Oh, is that Chaney? Did he just punch him back? No, that's Crash.
That's always a fun move. You throw the one guy at the other guys.
Yeah, it's been Crash's go-to a few times within the last 5 minutes. And now we're on the horses again. Yeah.
We're off to the races.
That looks wild.
Crash needs to change his clothes. It's gonna be too
I
hard to
know.
tell when it's him.
Man, I didn't know Crash, like, yeah, they had a multiplying ray. Now there's just 10 crashes.
That's what the Atom Ray does?
Is that, are they doing both hands like a streamlined bow? That's cool. For a second, it looks a little Nazi-ish, and then you look a little more like they're using two hands.
Like a big stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be my salute.
Han's just big on, you know, flexibility, calisthenics.
Right.
Prepare the transforming ray.
Not the transforming ray.
Way to go, Crash. You led them all back here.
One big circle. Ooh, they don't like it. He said they don't like it. Uh-oh.
They said there's no way we can scale a wall. Who are we, Crash Corrigan?
I've come to see the Holy Sheriff, High Priest of Atlantis.
A man lies. He's an escaped prisoner who slew one of our charioteers.
Seize him. He killed Anthony. He's a black robe.
I tell you, I gotta see Sharon.
Throw him in the dungeon.
What, are you gonna fight all these guys?
Here we go again.
10 men.
Push me down.
After him, man.
He's gonna pole vault.
Beep. Easy. Nothing but net. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Yeah. Oops.
Wow. Classic, like,
Going great.
he's such a Larry David type, right? He's just like total accident, but now he's committed the worst social faux pas that he could.
Why did your father come to the undersea kingdom of Atlantis?
He didn't intend to. We were in our submarine when something went wrong. And the first thing we knew, we were here.
We were in our submarine. Billy, you...
O exalted one, we have captured the stranger from the upper world.
That's Crash Corrigan, the man I've been telling you about.
What have you done with him? I ordered him thrown into the dungeon with the other prisoners.
He didn't do anything.
He slew one of our charioteers.
Enough. The law is clear. Only
Did he
life
do that?
can pay for life.
I think he did.
Corrigan shall be pitted against the captive black robes in mortal combat.
Oh, shit.
Fine, I know Crash will win.
If he does, he'll be granted
What
his
is
freedom.
this kid?
Great.
Get the prisoners ready and summon the people.
Billy's like, yeah, line him up. Line him up. Let's take a break right there. That seems like a nice place to take a break. I'm at 59:31.
Perfect.
Perfect. So that was the first. Why does this picture of Fresh keep popping up? Old picture of Fresh. So that
Curse? We cursed?
it's the curse. Something happened with the curse and messed with all my sources. So just when you thought it was safe to get back into the stream, the curse. The curse. What are you gonna do? We love Caligari. We'll be cursed for life. It's fine. But that was
We
the.
love technical problems.
Who doesn't? Our audience loves it. Everybody loves it. It's part of the show. All part of the show. But that was the exciting first half of the Arena of Death. So, what do we think so far, Evan?
Well, we haven't. I hope we're about to get to the arena because that's really what I've been waiting for. But I mean, this has certainly been, you know, action packed. First, what is this? 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, we've been moving. We've gone from the palace to the desert to another palace. So we're certainly
he's only fought about 50 men in
Yeah.
his first 10 minutes.
only 50. He'll have a whopping 100 to face in the arena of death, all at once. One man.
If they do like a one-on-one thing in this arena, it's gonna feel like they're kind of lowering the stakes a bit, you know?
Right, and we've already seen him fight 10 men, so unless he's fighting a giant or like I don't know, some kind of sea
Is it,
monster.
like, black robes? Have we seen that yet?
The black robes are the bad guys. They're Unga Khan's henchmen. So they're like the thing that he's dressed as right now. Like the clothes, those are the black robes of Unga Khan. Oh, look at that. Look at me. I'm such an Undersea Kingdom nerd. I got all the lore, all of that. No. No, I'm learning it just at the same pace as everybody else. I'm just trying to follow along the best that I can. It's not easy.
One robe at a time.
One robe at a time, like everybody else. So, yeah, I mean, again, when you see I almost called him Flash. When you see Crash fight that many people, it is, and we didn't see Flash do that. I didn't see Flash fight 10 henchmen at once. Maybe one. I never saw him fight 2 the way that Crash did.
We saw him wrestle around with Captain Torch. I think that was about it.
That was it. Yeah, just Captain Torch. He was basically, yeah.
Old rival.
Yeah, that got a little stale after a while. So if you're already on chapter 3 and you're throwing 10-minute Crash Corrigan, you better be able to keep that pace up all the way through chapter 12, because you're already setting the bar kind of a little high for yourselves, I think. I mean, because Crash is good. I mean, obviously he's a skilled fighter, but you know, if he's fighting 10 men now, how are you going to keep up in the ante each week? I don't know.
They're gonna bring back all of the people and all of their horses. He's gonna fight everybody and their horses.
Yep. Just punching horses left and right. That's eventually all Crash Corrigan did. Working at his ranch, he's like, I just want to punch the horses. That's all I want to do. Yeah, and you know, again, it's so funny to see 15, 20 people riding around on horses at once. Because, again, to me nowadays, the logistic nightmare that seems like it would be is like almost inconceivable to my mind. But then when I think about it within the context of the time, they were making Westerns where you use that many horses every day. And that studio was making tons of Westerns where they used tons of horses. So it was just all part and parcel with what they did. They're like, oh, we need something exciting to happen in this undersea serial. We'll find a way to use horses. And then,
of course,
you know, as you guys astutely pointed out last week, they are seahorses, technically. And so, you know, it adds a little bit of an element of danger, I think. Just because you see people riding fast on a horse, you don't know if they're gonna do some tricks or do something. Way more exciting than watching people riding around in cars.
I hope that they said something about transforming Ray. I hope that they hit Crash with that and they transform him into a really athletic horse.
Oh, okay.
I want to see a horse do some of the stuff that Crash has been doing. Walking on a tightrope, choking out 2 men at the same time.
Well, I think a horse could easily choke out 2 men at the same time. Walking on the tightrope might be kind of hard because I feel like horses are a little more top heavy. But I think a Crash horse could do it. I mean, Crash can do anything, as we've seen. But eventually, as we get closer and closer to the end of this serial, we're going to have to decide who we like better, Crash or Flash. And
The age-old question.
Yep, Crash or Flash. And I mean, obviously, right now, I think I'm still pretty firmly entrenched in the Flash camp. But, I mean, again, if they can keep this pace up and escalate from chapter to chapter what Crash is getting into, then I'm here for it. And
we'll give him a fair shake.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what this show is all about. Fair
shakes in the arena of death.
He will soon enough. When we come back from our break, he'll have his day. And so the break for this evening, I'm gonna show as many Crash Corrigan movie trailers as I can. There's not a lot, but our trailer this evening is for a film that he stars in as like a normal person, but he's also wearing a gorilla suit, I believe. And he's also the narrator, and I think he also produced the movie. And it's
he does it all.
He does it all. If you didn't think that fighting 10-minute once and tightrope walking or owning your own movie ranch was enough, then this was certainly the movie that he proved that he could do it all. And it's entitled The White Gorilla. And so again, this is where I said, like, I don't know what he did. Did he dye his suit white, or did he get a white suit made? I don't know. But he was basically one of the main forces behind this movie. So, and I don't think he did that very often. I mean, I think this is one of the few movies where he did do it all, or he did do a lot. And of course, wearing the gorilla suit. I mean, obviously, he wears it well, as we've seen. The trailer that we had for our pre-roll this evening, the monster and the ape. Who do you think was the ape? Crash Corrigan. Who else? I mean, the man, he was the go-to. There was one other guy. And then when Crash sold his old suit, there were 3 guys.
Well, I guess back then all you have to do is just be the guy with the ape suit.
No, I mean, that was really how it worked. It was like that these guys owned the suit, and that's how they got cast. That's why Crash played an ape so many times, because he came with his own suit. The studios didn't have them or couldn't supply them on their own, couldn't make them. So.
I heard this guy comes with his own suit.
Hey, did you hear that? He comes with his own suit. We just have to pay for grooming fees. No, I don't know. You probably got to pay to get that. If you're the studio, pay to get it dry cleaned, I'm sure that suit gets pretty dusty. But I mean, Crash was one of the go-to guys. So we'll get to see him in action during this trailer. And again, I'll show as many Crash Corrigan as an ape trailers as I can find, but I think that's probably only going to get us a couple more weeks, and then who knows what movie trailers we'll show. But we're going to show this trailer for The White Gorilla, and then when we come back, we're going to get into the exciting conclusion of Arena of Death. So stick around. We'll be right back.
The gorilla. There it is.
Away. He came at me. Closer and closer. And when he jumped me, I thought it was the end.
Crashes up again, and you couldn't hear me, but now you can. We are back. So that was the trailer for The White Gorilla, and yeah, pretty pretty ridiculous, as you can tell. I guess we assume that Crash had a white gorilla costume. I guess he had enough money to spring for some fancy albino gorilla fur, because he made his costumes out of real gorilla. No, I'm just kidding. He did not do that. He did not do that. I don't know what he made his costumes out of. Not real gorilla. I don't want to spread that rumor. I don't want to be responsible for spreading that rumor. No, it was just I don't know, probably yak hair or some kind of something. But that was The White Gorilla, and it's a I think you could tell by the trailer, a lot of the movie is actually stock footage from like a silent 1920s movie. So it doesn't really cut well with the new footage that's got Crash Corrigan in it. But that was the, I guess, the deal of producing this movie. It's like, well, what we'll do is we'll use this old silent jungle picture, and we'll just, use all the animal footage from that. We'll shoot a couple gorilla scenes and some stuff with the protagonist, and boom, new movie. It worked. It
worked. They got the new white gorilla suit.
He did. If nothing else, I think that was why he wanted to do the movie. He was just hoping to finally get his hands on a white gorilla suit. He just needed an excuse. So thus he produces the movie. But I mean, that was like late 40s, mid to late 40s, I think. And I mean, Crash held on to his ranch until the mid 60s, and then he basically retired at that point. And I think his last movie might have been in the 50s. And then he sold the ranch to Bob Hope, of all people, who turned it into Hope Town, or he put some kind of a name on it that was something Hope, Bob Hope. And it was only a few miles from the Spawn Ranch, which infamously is where the Manson family lived at during their most notorious days. So, kind of funny to think that old Crash was just a small world, just a couple miles away from Charles Manson tripping acid and riding around on a doom buggy. But that again, that's Hollywood was a crazy place back in those days. I mean, that's why Quentin Tarantino did the movie.
That movie, Hollywood was a crazy place.
Hollywood was a crazy place with Brad Pitt and Leo DiCaprio. Yeah, Tarantino, always with those crazy titles. But yeah, I mean, Crash, he's been pretty serviceable so far. He's not having to do a lot of dramatic heavy lifting. He's really just been running and fighting.
Has he had a single line so far?
Yeah, he's had a few, but like nothing that isn't around him fighting with somebody. Like, no, don't fight me.
He's more of a speak with his fists kind of guy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as we've seen, he is. He is, speaking with his fists, speaking with, how he can just throw other people in the air and slam them into other people. He's...
You don't have to talk when you can just toss people around like a sack of potatoes.
Nope. That says it all. It really does. Well, anything before we get into the exciting conclusion of Arena of Death, Evan?
I'm worried that he's gonna do too well at fighting in the arena, and they're gonna have to drop him into another pit.
And that's the only place that you can go from here.
We're just gonna keep going down, just a new layer each time.
I could see it. I mean, we keep going any more layers down, we're gonna hit the core. Okay, I don't know. We're already beneath. Yeah, we're already in the undiscovered layer underneath the ocean floor. So we keep going too many layers. We're just gonna start getting hot. So I think on that note, Evan, if you have it queued up,
I do.
then we're gonna go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of Arena of Death right now.
There's no need for alarm. The transforming ray will not harm him, but merely bend his will to mine.
That's what the transforming ray does?
It's just a mind control machine?
It transforms you into being compliant?
Oh, managers wish they had this device. I don't know, give me a bunch of those robots. I don't care if you can't take them out with a chair. Dude, I'm right here. You could just say stop.
He turned on the robot so the robot could turn on this.
Yeah, that's some real...
Gas. It's not really a ray.
Ooh, that's a cool little...
He is a good delegator.
Most of the good leaders are.
He's been transformed.
Professor Norton! Don't you know me? It's Diana.
This is gonna sound bad for me to say that this guy looks like a chubby Bela Lugosi, That's all I can think is chubby Bela Lugosi. I mean, that's about what Lugosi looked like middle age, but oh, they're doing like an eye thing. That's okay.
Yeah, they're doing the eye thing.
Yeah.
So.
But they can't catch focus very good. There we go. Oh, nope, you lost it again. I guess that's...
Ooh.
Oh, you kind of had it. Oh, nope.
Are we padding out the runtime?
What he's just doing it all with his
Are you
hands.
ready to build the rocket motors? Yes, Master. Your word is law, Master.
Right, the rocket motors.
Take him to the laboratory.
Oh, this is going in my feature article. You better believe they're gonna hear about this.
Corrigan, we're all
You mean
getting...
your friend, the lieutenant? He's in no position to help
So they figured out how to build a mind control ray, but they don't know how to build a rocket?
Can't figure out how to get above that out of this layer, man. Yep, just killing time.
Just get nice and loose.
Just hanging out. Come on, you guys want to bust out of here?
Just a couple of dudes hanging out in the locker room.
Let's go, boys. Oh, I like that. That's a pretty good little... I guess that's a matte painting. They could only get like 15 extras. They're like, nah, keep the camera angle the same. It's fine. We don't need to push
Funnel
it.
everybody up.
We'll use sound effects. It'll be fine. Well, yep, Billy, you got to get to the back of the line and wait like everybody else.
Here, where you going?
It's me, Billy.
You know, it's really convenient that the people of Atlantis speak English.
Yeah. Yep. No, actually, you're speaking our language.
Oh, we've been speaking Atlantean the whole time.
We didn't even know it.
It turns out the real lost city was the friends we made along the way.
We were lost, but in the end, we were found.
We were looking for Atlantis, but we found Jesus?
Yeah. We were looking for no. We were looking for Atlantis, but we found each other.
Is this the arena?
Yep.
You're kidding me.
This little, what is it? What, I can't, it's not mud.
Like a square of gravel.
Gravel, yeah, that's what it is.
Or like sawdust or something. I got a lot of money riding on you.
Yeah, he did. That's what I was gonna say. He does look like he's at like a freaking some kind of illegal animal betting.
I bet my whole lunchbox.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Got him. Kill him! Kill him!
Put a thumb in his eye, Crash.
Oh, that was a good one.
That's two.
I mean, this whole serial opened with Crash wrestling, so should have seen it coming a mile away.
They gotta know better. You can't out wrestle this man.
Mm-mm.
Ow.
Bring the sacred sword of victory. The victor goes honor and
Sacred Sword of Victory. Wow, they really changed their tune quick.
the losers, death.
He won't do it.
Proceed.
Don't do it, Crash.
Oh my
There
god.
is an insult to our God, Lieutenant. The people
He
will
just
decide your
broke
fate.
that sword over his knee. Good
You-
lord, this man is strong.
You guys suck at what is it? Isn't there like a specific name for the art of sword making? Am I just or making those kind of weapons? I don't know.
I don't know. I just think like smithing or something.
So yeah, I guess just a blacksmith,
Swordsmithing, maybe.
swordsmith. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys,
Oh
not great
shit!
at metallurgy. They figured out how to do a mind control ray, but they made a sword out of coral or something.
Sword out of coral. Yep. That was good.
Ow. On
Jesus.
his bare skin.
What? Dang, that was way more abrupt than I expected. Wow. Yeah. That was the exciting conclusion of the Arena of Death. And I don't know. I gotta say, I was not expecting it to end that abruptly. That
I was
was,
wondering what the cliffhanger was gonna be.
and it's just him like being dragged by a horse. I mean, obviously that's pretty
Not to
brutal.
diminish that.
Yeah,
That's awful.
Yeah, definitely don't want to underscore the trials and tribulations of Crash Corrigan, but I was expecting more. I mean, maybe I'm expecting too
Speaking of-
much.
Speaking of expecting more, can we talk about that arena?
Yeah, the
That
Arena
was
of
kinda
Death.
pathetic, honestly.
Yeah, it was more just kind of like it was just like, all right, put some wood chips down in the middle of the town square and let's have them duke it out. And I mean, honestly, I gotta say, Crash kind of fumbled the bag a little bit because now I guess this guy's a good guy. I don't know, but the leader of whatever this group of Atlanteans is called, he's been kidnapped. So, way to bungle! You should have killed him when he gave you the chance. You shouldn't have broke their sword. I mean, that was a bad call on Crash's part.
Backfired.
Yeah, I bet when like he saves that guy, that's the first thing that guy, bet you wish you would have used the sword, huh? Like, you're right. I should have all this could have been avoided.
We could have wrapped this up an episode sooner, Crash. Ray.
Yeah, when we get angry with him, we'll call him Ray. And when we're happy with him, we'll call him Crash. I mean, it's I mean, I think the nickname is very astute. I think it's a good nickname because, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that he's crashing around, but he is kind of like banging into
not
things.
crashing
Yeah,
around.
he's not like crashing in head first, but he's like throwing things and kicking people and doing all kinds of. I think you know what his name should have been. Well, no, it doesn't work. Crash is good. He is basically like throwing his body into people more or less.
Were you gonna say Smash?
No, but Smash would have been better than I was gonna say too. I was gonna say Dash. Smash is better. Smash is better.
Running around.
Just running around, getting all kinds of shenanigans.
Smash Smorgan.
Smash Morgan. Crash Corrigan, more like that. No. But we'll see we'll see. I mean, what is he? Of course, he's going to pull himself up on that chariot and save the day. I mean, that's what I was expecting him to do. Pull himself up on the chariot, and then he's on the chariot, and then maybe like they're fighting on the chariot. That would have been a good place to cliffhanger at, you know? But like, I expect him to be able to pull himself up a rope and get on the chariot, you know? Like, come on, Crash. Still, all in all, good episode. Plenty of action. I think that's the one thing we can say about this serial so far.
It hasn't lost its steam yet.
No, it offers plenty of action. And no, I mean, it has, no, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I'm kind of starting to feel an absence of stakes, you know, in the sense of like, okay, I understand, like, the professor has now been tainted by the mind control of Unga Khan. He's got his own agenda. But, like, I mean, the whole point of the professor and Crash and all them going down there in the first place, it's just more like they're roped into this Atlantis dogfight that they don't really, it doesn't really affect Earth. Except now, the more they get involved, the more they bring the rest of us into it. Sorry, I should.
Yeah, because if they weren't down there, isn't the thing that they need the professor to enact whatever plan he has going anyway? Right. So if they just hadn't gone in the first place, they would have been better off.
Yeah, and I mean, you can say that about most. What would fiction be if people didn't make bad decisions?
People just stayed home.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Fiction is just nothing but people making bad decisions and seeing how they play out, you know? I mean,
yeah, no story has ever started with and then they stayed home.
Yeah. No, God, no. You don't, you know. Well, you wouldn't have all your movies where people take a wrong. I mean, that's all horror movies. If you didn't have that, you don't have anything. Yeah, and did nothing. That's right, Sweet Feet. Absolutely nothing. I mean, it's surprising, you know. I think that, I don't know. I think all in all, it's keeping my attention, you know? Like,
It certainly is.
I don't
know. Does Unga Khan have a plan? Like, what is his deal? He's trying to raise Atlantis?
Yeah, something weird like
with
that.
A rocket engine? Is that the thing?
Something like that. And that's the thing.
He's
I think
going to unleash his 4 robots on the surface.
Right. His trash can robots, which can be knocked over in no time. All you need is a bucket or a chair. Yeah, you don't need much. Again, Crash, if I don't see him throw one of those things into another one of those things later, I'm going to be severely disappointed because he's already done this.
That would be so much fun to film, though. Right?
Oh, yeah. Just
throwing these chairs.
Boom. Oh, yeah, man. And just seeing him topple over. Like, too bad there's not a guy in it, you know?
Just the simple pleasure in throwing a chair.
See, I hope that they hold that continuity and that those robots continue to be that weak. Because if he gets into hand-to-hand combat with one of these robots and it's giving him a run for his money, I'm gonna be a little suspicious. I mean,
Well,
what is
then
it?
we'll know he Crash is weaker than a chair.
They just don't have a very good center of gravity, I guess, right? Like maybe they're strong in the arms, but they just topple over really easily. I don't know about robot physics. I couldn't tell you. That's a whole school unto itself. Is that what is that? Boston? Is that where they do all the robot stuff?
Is this where they're keeping all the robots nowadays?
No, you know what I'm talking about. What is it called? The
Boston Dynamics.
Boston Dynamics. That's what it is. Yes. Yeah, that's who Unga Khan should have kidnapped. He should have kidnapped the people from Boston Dynamics, figure out how to get these robots working better. Like, because then if you have the robots, you just, let them figure it out. You don't even need this Earth. Keep saying Earth. It's not like we're on a different planet. We're still on planet Earth. They need land scientists. I guess I guess that's the way you'd put it. They need a land scientist smart enough, or they just get their robots fixed, not be so top heavy. Land scientist, yeah, thanks, Sweet Feet. That's what it is. But I mean, so far so good. I have enjoyed it. So that was chapter 3 of the Undersea Kingdom. And now I don't know what he is. Some kind of I don't know. He developed a device.
He had like a earthquake machine.
Yeah, an earthquake device. So he might be some kind of geologist or something like that. But yeah, what is Evan? Can you see what next week's episode is called?
Next week's episode is called Revenge of the Volkites.
Yes, and those are the robots. So
okay, so we get more robot action.
More robot, unless that's all saved for the end. This was a weird one. Sometimes we have episodes, definitely more often with Flash Gordon had episode titles that really just reflected the cliffhanger. So we're watching the whole episode being like, when are they going to get to this thing? And it's like, oh, well, duh, of course it was going to be the cliffhanger. But I mean, today's episode it happened in the, in the back half, but it still wasn't it wasn't the cliffhanger.
Yeah, I was really worried that they were going to save it for the very end.
Yeah, no, they didn't save it for the very end. So hopefully they don't save the robots for the very end next time. Hopefully the robots are pretty involved throughout, but we'll see. So yeah, so far so good with Undersea Kingdom, and so Revenge of the Volkites next week. Should be a lot of fun. So you can catch us next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern for that. We will be back this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern for the regular stream. This Friday, we're going to be watching an Italian film re-released and retitled and redubbed in America as Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory, which sounds like a very what happens when the werewolf makes his way into the girls' dormitory? It's a very cheesy 60s film that is very light on, I mean, again, this is 1961, so we're still coming out of the 50s concern. We haven't gotten to the uninhibited 60s yet. We haven't gotten to the production code totally breaking down yet. So this is still a pretty tame movie by all standards. But of course America had to put a kind of a wild title on it. We'll talk about that on Friday because this is a pretty common practice for Italian films distributed in America at this time. slap a new title on it and kind of give it a lower rent feel just because this title sounds more sensational. The original title for Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory was Lycanthropus in Italy, or Lycanthropus, however you want to say it. But you know, so I think that's the more intimidating title, obviously, but this is just what America did in the
Does it
60s.
sound like the werewolf's got too many arms or something?
Yeah, now that would be cool. Werewolf octopus?
Lycanthropus?
An octopus
Yeah.
werewolf or a werewolf octopus? Either way, I'm in.
A
Count me in.
were-octopus?
Count me in. I'm here for it. That would be wild, dude. Oh my god! If 8 arms. Either way, they're smart. If it's an octopus werewolf, it's pretty smart, right? Because if it's a werewolf,
Right, yeah.
if it's a werewolf octopus, then it's a werewolf with 8 arms, right? But if it's an octopus werewolf, it's an octopus that turns into a werewolf. So it's still got the brain of an octopus. So it's still pretty smart. You see what I'm doing there? You see how this is working out?
Let's see. It's not getting caught in any glass jars.
No, God no. I mean, if
It'll
it's
slip right out of there.
well, an octopus werewolf is just gonna bust out of it. It's just gonna destroy the glass and not be harmed or affected in any
Okay.
way.
The strength of a werewolf and the brains of an octopus.
Exactly. It knows that
Perfect predator.
it knows that it needs to get out of this jar, but instead of unscrewing the lid like a normal octopus, it just destroys the jar and then it's out. I'm out. So, God, yes. Don't worry, we're on it. We're writing it right now as we speak. We're jotting it down. Both of them. One of them will be the first movie, and the other one will be the unrelated sequel. Because it's 2 different creatures. But it should be a really fun movie, and it's our 3rd entry in our summer of schlock. And as always, Evan brings us a wonderful cocktail to pair with the evening's film in a little segment which this season we're calling
it Schlocktail Hour.
Schlocktail Hour.
This week's drink, we've got another cross. I've been really into crossing drinks here lately. So this newest one is a cross between the Silver Bullet and the Mirror Margarita. And on Friday, of course, I'll go into those a little bit more, but when you cross those, you end up with the Silver Mirror. This is made with silver tequila, some simple syrup, triple sec, lemon lime soda, some clear bitters, and this is I'm experimenting a little bit this week. I'm making some homemade caraway, cumin, fennel, and cinnamon extract because it's to replace an ingredient that I just can't get, and we can talk about that on Friday. But this we'll see how this works.
Okay.
Because I haven't tried this before.
Yeah, it definitely sounds adventurous. So I'm excited for it. I mean, anything that's like a margarita mixed with something else, hey, count me in.
Yeah, we're going for kind of I want to say a margarita with some like added herbal tones.
I think that's good. Not to be I don't think that I'm being stereotypical when I say that for an Italian film, it's good that we're having a drink that's got some herbal, like, hints, right? It's got a little spice. It's got a little spicy to it, right?
A little spice to it.
A little spice to the meatball.
If the Campari was clear, I'd break that back out.
Yeah, that's true. That is always. Yeah, I mean, you gave us the whole 411. Is that even a thing anymore?
Back in Italy.
Back in Italy. Yeah, we're back in Italy. And yeah. I mean, it's again, it's an Italian film, but it's dubbed in English. But like everybody making it that's in it comes from a different country, so it's a whole hodgepodge. So um, it'll be a good drink for an interesting movie. I don't think we've had one of these Italian or even European dubbed in English movies. Horror Express was Spanish, and the dubbing was all right. And that was the 70s. This is kind of the classic time period of your 60s Italian horror movie that gets dubbed and re-released in America under a ridiculous title and kind of obscures you to the fact that there's actually some really decent effective imagery in these movies. Like that's the thing that gets lost under the exploitative title, is the fact that this actually is a gothic horror film with some genuinely effective imagery. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited for that. So you can join us this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube for that. Of course, you can go find all of our past episodes over on our YouTube page at ScreamStream Live. We are over on all the socials, including now TikTok, at ScreamStream Show. So we're ready for all our information to get stolen by the Chinese government. You need to learn more about public domain horror movies. Then maybe you'll let a little more freedom into your country. No, I'm just kidding. No. I don't want to offend
Maybe you'll
anyone.
let some more werewolves into your country.
Yes, that's what China needs, more werewolves. But yeah, you can go find us over on the socials at ScreamStream Live. Of course, you can find me on Twitter at Spakenstein. Mr. Evan Sink is on Twitter at Caligari Cursed. And Mr. Fresh Rogan not with us this evening, but you can go find him on the socials at Fresh Rogan. Anything before we sign off tonight, Evan?
I've been thinking about going back to school. I want to go after my PhD in land science. Start a whole new department.
Evan called it. Whole new major, land science. Well, Evan's going to work on that. And until Friday, sweet screams, everybody.
And to all, a good fright.
I hit the wrong button.